All right. We here? Where we at? Right. So where we at here? Okay, it's time, y'all. Let me get the theme song started. Wait a minute. There I am. All right, all right. Okay. All right. Let's see now. Okay, it's time, y'all. Okay, theme song started. Yeah. Share that on my page. Post. Y'all ready? I'm ready to get it started here. All right. Big ups, big ups. Yeah. All right. Let's start that watch party. All right. All right. Share with my friends here. Share. Wait a minute. All right. I see you, Vaughn. I see you, brother Vaughn. And then, okay. Hey. Oh, yeah. Felix, definitely. I see you, Felix. And good morning, brother. Brother Morris. More people get in here. If you give me that. Oh, here you go. Here you go. We invite some people up in here. Like a Sherry, Mike, Maria, Juan's there, my cousin there, Beauty in there, James there. Let me get it started here. Oh, okay. Time to get them started, y'all. Show started. No. Oh, I'm with you. Don't you worry. All right. We're going to get them started right now. Get my theme song going. All right. There it is. Our theme song is in the mix. All right, Nsoromma, I see you in there. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Sure you're going to enjoy it.
Those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation. We do so because chains of oppression is obvious, deep, and difficult.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye. I'm your third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. As usual, I got a lot for you. Oh, you're going to walk away today with your eye open like I always tell you you do. Don't forget to tune in to WHGE 95.3 FM for the great programming we have for you all week long. I'm going to get started. I'm not going to mess around with you. Listen up. Cultural self-knowledge restoration work is not a popularity contest. And the power to define will attempt to distort, demean, and undermine. Manifest ourselves and be about self-determination, self-definition, self-validation, self-commitment, self-agency, and self-initiative. Free your mind and use it to self-educate and persistently learn, unlearn, and relearn our story so we can embrace, apply, embody, and continue the absolute very best of our global history, heritage, African culture, consciousness, traditions, values, people, achievements, and aspirations as a purposeful way of life. In the crippling, widespread generational cycle of historical amnesia, cultural alienation, fractured identity, shattered consciousness, self-erasure, self-defamation, self-blight, disorientation, anti-Africanism, apathy, delusional fantasies, disorganization, escapism, spookism, and mindless parroting and imitating of others. Persistently do something positive, beneficial, tangible, culturally affirming, and reoccurring in our community as a vibrant, collective, necessary, urgent, prioritized, productive, and self-empowered way of life. We are our cultural liberators, ambassadors, and advocates. Each one teach one, starting now. Unity is our aim, and victory is our destination. Welcome to the Open Eye. Name of that song is Studio Time Blues by Mr. Gibbs. Yeah. Last night, unfortunately, 2 young men were shot here in Wilmington. I'm not going to call them young men. They were 15 and 16. 2 children were shot. Today, at 10th and Pine Street, 1 block away from my location, there will be a Stop the Violence Peaceful March at 1 p.m. Stop the Violence Peaceful March at 1 p.m. on 10th and Pine. Be there. All right. With all the stuff that's going on right now, something I often wonder about is, it confuses me how you can get arrested with your only charge being resisting arrest. The hell is that? It literally means that you committed no crime except to say, no, I'm not going with you since I didn't commit any crime. But you can be arrested with your only charge being resisting arrest. I'm on the air. There are language restrictions, and so I'm not going to violate that, but that's BS. Something we shouldn't have to deal with. Joining me in the studio, as always, my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma. How you doing, brother?
What's happening, homie? What's happening?
This, that, and the other thing. We got it going on. I'm getting them started.
As always.
As always. I want to delve into some history here.
Right.
Okay. The people that we're dealing with in this situation that we're in.
I'm coming. I got you. Here I come.
Okay. All right. Just because, some things have advanced and changed, remember the mindset and the generational DNA of the people that we're dealing with doesn't change a whole lot. Did you know that when they would lynch and terrorize and murder our people, that they would take their skin and make purses and cigar cases and book covers and shoes? For those of you on Facebook Live, I'm going to show you this picture here. These are Negro skin shoes. You see that? That's shoes made from the skin of a murder victim. Yeah. This was discussed in the movie Birth of a Nation that so many people were tricked out of even watching. It was the story of Nat Turner. Nat Turner famously led a slave revolt and was hanged, and his skin was used for lamps, purses, shoes. That is a deep level of hatred and disdain for human life. Truly barbaric savages that take the skin of a human and take time to create household items and clothing from. You want to talk about racism? Come on. Let's talk about racism. What kind of animal would do something like that? Jeez Louise.
First of all, you got to think of the mentality. They had to be some sort of crazy.
Yeah, you got that right.
And mentally challenged.
Yes, indeed. Definitely mentally challenged. Because that's sick. That's downright sick. That's right. Dope and I is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, the founders and builders of the Pearl Center. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Line are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position.
Oh, I got this little history thing coming up here. It blew me away when I saw this.
The Delaware Center for Homeless Vets.
Yeah.
What's good, y'all? Open Eye about to pop, getting popping, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that's tuning in, you know?
Yeah. Beautiful Sandra Campbell is on there. Hi, Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
All right. The Open Eye. I got some I like to deal with our history before we get into some of these crazy current events.
Right.
Right. This one I'm going to credit Brother Vaughn Morris with posting this. In 1943, Black American soldiers faced off with white American military police during World War II on British soil. Yep, you heard me. Black American soldiers had to fight their own white American soldiers while in England, where they were fighting for the world. Now, they're supposed to be fighting Germany, okay? Why? Because the English town of Bamber Bridge in Lancashire was not segregated. So they treated the black soldiers like all other races. Also known as blacks were free to eat, drink anywhere. But back in America, segregation of blacks and whites still existed. So essentially, the American army went to someone else's country and demanded that they adopted America's racist practices. The folks in Lancashire were like, oh, hell no. we like these black soldiers. In fact, during that time, the American created jitterbug dance was popular, and the British women were eager to learn it from the black soldiers. The fondness for the black American soldiers was also supported by those famous essays written by George Orwell, well-known British writer, who stated that the black American soldiers had the best manners of all American troops. Not surprising. So when the American military police found out that the own black American soldiers were drinking at the same pubs as white people, they went in to arrest them. This is somebody else's house. The people in the town got mad about the treatment of the black soldiers and decided to then turn their pubs into black-only drinking pubs. The very opposite of what was taking place in America with their white-only businesses.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Of course, this pissed off the American military, so guns went blazing. They got to shooting over this mess, y'all. And when word spread back at camp that black soldiers had been shot, scores of men formed a crowd, some carrying rifles, and by midnight, more American military police arrived with a machine gun-equipped vehicle, so the black soldiers had no choice but to get the rifles from British stores while others barricaded themselves back on base. So now it was American white soldiers versus American black soldiers. Several soldiers died, including...
No, in somebody else's house.
In somebody else's house. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and back in America, this was hushed up because they didn't want the country to find out that they were fighting their own soldiers, which would anger the black population and weaken the moral and the morale, you know, here in America.
Well, that's crazy because that's still going on today.
Yeah, yeah. So since the British weren't going to act racist and treat black soldiers as human beings, the Americans went and fired on them.
Messy.
Man, you ever heard of
Oh
such
my God, that's messy.
Have you
Wow.
ever? This is how deep that thing is.
Wow.
And don't think for a New York minute that has changed for a lot of our white citizens.
Wow.
Boy, I tell
And
you,
what year was that?
that 1943.
Wow.
Yep. See, we hear about that on the open eye, y'all.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Lisa? What you up to? You know what we do on the radio, dropping knowledge. Yeah, that's right. I'm waving to you.
Hey, Tony
What's
Watson.
up?
See you out there.
Yeah.
And of course, I know I said good morning to my favorite Facebook cuz, Sherry. That's my homie.
Yeah. So y'all got any questions? Y'all want to talk about something? Or y'all need to know some information about something? Link us. Wave at us. Do all that. That's right. Keep it coming. Yo, Mike, what's good? That's right. What's happening?
Is that Mike Whittle?
Nah, that ain't Mike Whittle. That's Mike Thomas.
Oh,
That's
okay.
one of my other homies that's over there. What's good, yo? Yeah, what's up, Mike Whittle, too? You guys check him out, too. He doing big things.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I know y'all feeling that music. That's harmonic cadence.
I know I was. Who's that?
That's behind Nsoromma.
Oh, that was me. That was you. Yeah, I knew I liked that.
Yeah, no wonder. Yeah. But yesterday, brother, I went to, well, I didn't go.
All right.
Last week, I went for my semi-annual checkup. You know, I'm diabetic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and they went to do my lab and my vitals and what have you. And I got my results yesterday. I had to talk to my primary care physician on the phone because I couldn't I couldn't go to the VA and talk to him.
Right.
And, you know, to get the results and, you know, for him to tell me how I was doing. I'm doing pretty good.
Right. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Blessings.
Thank you. My blood sugar count is down to 109, brother. I'm doing good here. Right. During the midst of our conversation, he told me that the VA, like most hospitals, are currently on semi-restriction. They're not on full restriction.
Right.
He said, however, come October, they will be on full restriction because they expect the second wave by October, November, the latest. The second wave of the coronavirus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you got. Now this is what killed me. You know what I mean? You got your doctor that's already knowing this, that's telling you something like that, and that we can already expect that. And then you got Disaster Orange telling the black community to send their kids back to school and leave his kids home. I mean,
yeah, because you know,
how you feel about that? What you think about that?
Well, the craziest thing about that is he's telling, you know, the community, you know, America at large, to send their kids back to school.
Wow.
Okay. But his son's school is not opening.
Right. I mean, none of the upper echelon schools are opening.
Right.
Right.
Right. You know, and now that's been kept quiet.
I
now
mean,
the whole lot's been
the
said
same
about
thing
that.
is going on. That last this last story you just told us about, the army fighting the black, that's what's going on right now, but it's through biological warfare.
Yeah.
COVID-19. So we got to understand what's going on. It ain't guns and bullets that's flying now. It's
not just guns and bullets.
Right. It's not just guns and bullets, because the guns never stop and bullets never stop. But it's a new tactic, a new strategy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're employing a well-tried strategy. You know, they have always been about biological warfare.
Right.
From the days of when they put yellow fever in the blankets that they gave to the Native Americans.
Wow. And they did all kind of stuff. That's incredible.
And let us not forget the Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
You know, where they allowed black men to
suffer syphilis. Yeah.
Right. Pretending that they were giving them a cure when they weren't treating them at all, and they let that go on for 40 years.
Wow.
Now with the coronavirus,
talking about destruction of a race.
You know, genocidal activity, bro. You know, now with the coronavirus, remember we talked about it a couple of months ago,
right?
Where they're making the face of corona black, and now they're coming up with a vaccination that's supposedly going to help people and this, that, and the other.
Right.
And this vaccination is, and I forgot her name, is being developed by this team led by a black scientist, a young black woman.
Right.
Now the thing about this young black woman, when it first came out, black publications and websites and what have you were celebrating her. Oh yeah, black girl power, and
right. Just give them the praise.
Right.
Now what they doing?
Now, well, after some in the new black media, such as myself, look deeper at this young black woman leading the team to develop this vaccination. Come to find out that she's a Negro peeing dead wench.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's what she is. She can't stand black people.
Wow.
Yeah. Now she's developing this vaccination, and the Gates, what's his name? Bill, and I forget his wife's name.
Melinda.
My man on the case. Thank you, because I'm old and my memory is shaky.
And I'm usually not good with names.
Bill and Melinda Gates. Now they're saying that, well, because it's hit the black community so hard that the first people in line to get the coronavirus vaccination should be the black community.
And we the most less, at that time the numbers were lower.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and now here's the thing. Let me ask you this: when in the hell did some white people step up and help some black people before they help white people? When the hell did that take place? I'm trying to remember. I'm a historian, student of history and what have you, and I'm searching my memory banks and my records and my files, and I can't find no goddamn place where white people stepped up to help black people before they helped white people. It didn't happen. Don't get fooled. Pardon me. I know I went in a little bit on
You in there,
that.
homie?
Yeah, I know I went in.
Rewind. Come back.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
you back?
I'm back.
Okay, now what would you say?
Now, when did
Okay.
white people step up to help black people before they help some white people?
Before they
Got
help
clapping on that.
Okay. Well, I have to say,
Yeah. Crickets.
right. I was trying to find it.
Yeah, it never happened in the history of America, y'all. Believe that. You can believe that. That's what. Well, 4 million COVID cases later, the orange disaster wants to take it seriously now. You know, President Orange Disaster canceled the Republican National Convention events in Florida and wore a mask, a face mask in public. It was too late. It's too late, Donald Trump. And we are 5 months, 4 million cases, and nearly 144,000 deaths after the coronavirus was first detected on U.S. soil. And now the orange disaster finally seems to be taking some of the more basic steps to show that the pandemic is serious.
But this was the same president that was saying it was fake.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, since he's been in office, he's been giving L's out, like line. L.
You know what I'm saying?
I was reading a thing where he told over 1,500 lies since he's been in office, and that was like 3 months ago. But, I mean...
I think that number might be low.
Right, low now, because it's been up. I said that was 3 months ago when I heard it. When I read that, so yeah, I mean that's crazy, man. I mean,
you know,
how do they really want the world to be? Do they want it to end? I mean, what is the mission? Total control of what? If you're killing everybody, who you going to be controlling? I mean,
well, the mission is population reduction. Okay, you know, it's too. You know, makes me think. See, this is why I love Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor back in the 70s was pointing this out. Richard Pryor back in the 70s was pointing this out. He did it with a joke. There's just too many damn people for me to ride my horsey, is what he said. Some of these.
And this is what's killing me. Now, this is numbers now.
Mm-hmm.
The planet can hold 500 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, all the people in the world on the planet right now adds up to 7,800,000,000 people.
My man, on the numbers.
So you gotta understand what's going on. That's impossible, really, for the planet to be overran. You understand?
Yeah.
The planet is much way bigger than everyone thinks. Yeah, and Africa's much way bigger.
Oh yeah.
The maps has been messed with.
Oh,
so
been
I mean, everything's been manipulated so bad that you only can do research and find out for yourself on what's really going on. Because some people are teaching you to not really know what's going on.
Right.
You're being taught not to know what's going on.
That's right.
So
being told bogus information.
Right, and the open eye is one of the places you can get the real information. So stay tuned in. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Most definitely stay tuned in. Because I'm going to tell you, as far as this thing is going, well, what has been going on across the country, elected officials begun to take bigger steps to slow the spread, even in those Republican states.
Right.
For instance, in Ohio, where Governor Mike DeWine, a Republican, finally mandated masks this week, and as did Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who's a Democrat. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb also signed a statewide mandate to wear a mask indoors, but he did not include his initial plan to penalize anyone who refused to do so.
Nah, because, like, okay, if you mandating something, if you're going to mandate it, you're supposed to have the army giving out every mask to every door and everything like that, because some people don't have money to buy masks. Some people are not financially stable to do some of the things that they mandate. So if you mandate it and don't put that in effect, and if you say, okay, we're going to mandate this, everybody go get a mask, or you don't say the mask is free, that's not a fair exchange.
No.
I mean,
you know, but you know, while it's better than nothing, experts have expressed that Trump waited so long to take proactive steps. Barely 1 month ago, on June 20th, the Trump campaign hosted a campaign rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And you know, a lot of them people went home spreading the COVID-19. Yep. Despite pleas from local officials to cancel or postpone, in the weeks after, public health officials blamed the rally for a spike in cases in that area.
Yeah, they spreading that Rona all around.
Mm-hmm. Well, though, you know, the orange disaster ignored those pleas in June, for some reason, he's listening up now. His polls are down. This is Over and I. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma. Open Eye. WHGE 95.3 FM. Yeah. Yo, Anno, what's good? Mika. Sherry, I always see you. What's happening, mommy? You good?
My cousin Arlene.
Word.
Yeah, and that's not a Facebook cousin, that's a real cousin.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's my cousin from Maryland in the house. Mm-hmm. Goes on the air here in that rolling.
But don't give it
we can let it roll.
Yeah. There's Nsoromma dash topic. YouTube. Subscribe right now. Like right now. WHGE 95.3 FM. Open Eye Radio. Mr. Gibbs. Nsoromma.
That Rona.
Yeah.
Nsoromma.
Featuring Timeless Thomas and Priscilla Brazil.
All right. You know, police have murdered black people in America with few repercussions from, you know, the start of the forming of police forces. You know, it's a black man by the name of Francis White. And he had blonde hair and blue eyes. His parents were born into slavery. In 1920, he used his light skin to infiltrate KKK meetings. Guess who was there? The police. Politicians were there. They were so convinced he was a white man that they swore him in as a sheriff. That's Walter Francis White. They swore him in as a sheriff's deputy in Oklahoma, but secretly he was investigating the lynches for the NAACP. Now, when he was sworn in as a sheriff's deputy, Walter Francis White was told, now you can go kill any Negro you see, and the law will be behind you. Even with 10 years worth of evidence.
Yo, hold up, man.
Yeah.
Rewind that, man.
Okay.
To
yeah.
4 lines back.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take it from here. Like I said, guess who was there? Police, politicians were there. This is in Oklahoma, where Walter Francis White was sworn in as a deputy sheriff. When he was sworn in as a deputy sheriff, Walter Francis White was told, now you can go kill any Negro you see and the law will be behind you.
Wow.
Even with 10 years worth of evidence, with photos covering 41 lynches and 8 race riots, there were no convictions.
Wow.
Someone asked me for more info on this. The book that this information came from, with slightly different wording, but White's original text said, now you can go out and shoot any N-word you see. Either way, it's true. This is what's actually happening. And you gotta remember, this is 1920. So who was he going to go to? Who the hell was he going to go to for justice in this? The cops and the politicians that were in the KKK? They'd have strung his ass up. This is what we've been dealing with from the beginning. Now, Colorado has passed sweeping police reform, okay, and that's all well and good.
But that's what I'm saying. This is when you're dealing with like topics of this sort, you know what I'm saying? It has to be, you know, because everyone's not fitting that in them boots or them shoes or whatever we just going at them with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's other people that feel the same way that we feel and about the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, and now that they enforcing some of the things that you know, is trying to pick some of these people out that has infiltrated them, like, you know, to be able to do that to us.
Right.
You know, we should get with the committees to spread that around more in our areas and in our neighborhood, in our
And those that understand, and what
right,
have you, you
right.
know, and for those that don't, and I'm talking to, you know, our white citizens, okay, when you hear this type of stuff, right, don't get all bent out of shape because these were your people that perpetrated this stuff, okay?
Right.
If your shoes don't fit, if your foot don't fit in these shoes, stop trying to squeeze your foot in these shoes.
Right.
Don't get bent out of shape of this. Accept and deal with the truth of the information that we're bringing to you about this. Stand up and turn to your own people and say, this is wrong.
Right.
Because
there's only one race, though. It's only one race. I always say that to you. It's the human race. I don't know no other race than that. So if we don't treat everybody of a human race as respect your race as human and not the color, it's going to always be that fight. So, you know,
and I understand what you're saying, you know, but and I want those that hear Nsoromma to understand this. When we say Black Lives Matter, remember, I'm talking about the saying, not the organization. Don't get that mixed up, because the organization Black Lives Matter is a piece of crap, actually. But when we say Black Lives Matter,
so why you say that?
Well, the reason I say that, remember when I brought up about it was founded, the organization was founded by 3 lesbians, which I have no problem with. That's who you love, is your business, okay? But when you try to pull away the gist and the mission of the organization from Black Lives Matter, and then feel you have to say all lives matter, and then shift everything from Black Lives Matter, which is under pressure right now, to transgender, to LGBT, this, that, and the other.
No, this is the one and only reason why I support the Black Lives Matter. Is for the simple fact of bringing recognition and visual injustice from the police department that's only being done to black people.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
And that is the only reason that whole protest has been formulated.
Right.
So anything else outside of that is not about a Black Lives Matter thing.
Right.
So
because whether you're a lesbian or homosexual or trans, if you're black, white supremacy don't give a damn what you are. All they see is your skin color. Okay? So when, like I said, when we say Black Lives Matter and we hear those say all lives matter, okay?
Of course.
Yeah, all lives matter. We understand that. But right now, those under pressure, those that are suffering genocidal activity are black people. Okay,
right. You don't see Asians getting yanked out the car and shot. You don't see white people getting pulled over and yanked out the car and beat like Rodney King and every other black person that get beat up for just driving down the street and can have all their credentials and all the things that they need to have and still be pulled out the car by some of these race soldiers that is hiding behind these badges and uniforms.
Right.
So that's where Black Lives is matter and supposed to come in at.
That's
and
right.
In fact, and all the rest of the black protesters that's tired of all of the injustice that's behind the uniforms that's supposed to be providing justice.
Right.
That's where
they're not serving and protecting the damn thing. And not only that, but it goes in deeper, because not only is it the outright violence that we as black people have to deal with, but it's what we call the structural violence, meaning the discrimination in education, the discrimination in housing, the discrimination in economic opportunity, the discrimination in access to resources, the discrimination in this disparity in healthcare.
Those are the structural violence.
And it ain't even not asking us. You can ask yourself. You can ask yourself all these questions. Do I have the health care? And then ask a black person, do you have health care?
That's right.
And then do I have a good job? And then ask the black person, do you got a good job? And you can ask a black and white person, a black person and a white person sitting next to each other that, and they ask each other questions, and you switch each other's answers. And you'll be surprised how different they are.
That's right. That's right. And when we say defund the police, don't get that mixed up. We are not saying that we're going to take all the money from the police department. They ain't going to be able to have a staffing for 911, and they're not going to be able to put any policemen on the street.
What you mean defunding the police?
Well, what we mean when we say defund the police, what we mean is take that money that militarizes the police, okay, that puts the police in camouflage uniforms with helmets and assault rifles and this, that, and the other. Get out here and act a damn fool.
I mean, listen, man. How you gonna? I don't feel as though defunding the police is an answer to anything. I feel as though the police is underpaid. I feel as though that their lives is being at risk. You got good people that's working on the police station and the police force that wants to change the world, just like we do. And them particular people and every person that will have the courage that want to stand up and fight for the cause of humanity, because that's what the law is supposed to stand for and be for. So when you're taking it a personal step to you're the man and you are the law, which you're not, now that's a whole different factor.
That's a whole different
You understand?
Right.
So within all of the, for niggas and shenanigans and the shenanigans, you know what I'm saying? The police force needs to be paid more, then they wouldn't be doing some of the things they have to do to survive.
Well, you know what?
I'm taking that drug dealer money.
Right.
He can leave the evidence now. He won't be a corrupt police because his family is in need too. He only being a police because his family need too.
And understand what you're saying. But check it out. Like I said, when we say defund the police, okay, there is some funds that go to the police departments that are misused, like I said, to militarize the police, and then the police behave as an occupying force in neighborhoods like our own. Okay,
right,
we can't have that.
Right,
we can't have that.
But we still need the good police to fight them police, or get some better ammunition than the police got that's trying to take over.
Right. And when we say defund, when we say defund, we mean redirect these funds to things that are going to make the police an effective organization.
Right, and that's what you need to say to me. Say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Say it fully, so I can understand how you.
That's why,
feel,
because a lot of people get confused about that defunding the police, and make it sound like you're gonna call the police.
Take their money, just don't get on.
It ain't about that. It ain't about that. It's about redirecting those funds to counseling. It's about redirecting those funds to the
right places.
To the right places.
Yeah, I mean, but not only that, and we all in this society where money matter. Do this with money, do that with the money, do this with the money. And how do you have poor people in this society when they make money?
Right. Well,
they can actually take and put another $6 trillion into the economy and be more in debt, $6 trillion more in debt, and do what you're saying, because that's how they work this economy and this government.
Because the wrong people are in charge.
Right, and that's where the problem lies, in the control of the finances of the organization.
But like I was saying, and this is the reason for places like Colorado, which is passing police reform, where deadly force can only be used if a person's life is in imminent danger. Police must report every instance in which they stop someone who they suspect of a crime. Police must report other officers for wrongdoing. Now, when that takes place, see, this comes with the.
I was going to ask you that too. I was going to ask you, what organization police the police that police the police, that police the police, because you got the regular police, which is in your state and city, and then you got the feds that's supposed to, the FBI, then you got internal affairs that's supposed to watch both of them.
Well, the internal affairs is usually part of the police department. But what happens when you have internal affairs is this right here. Well, we investigated ourselves and found we didn't do nothing wrong.
Right. So I was saying, who's investigating internal affairs?
Right.
Because internal affairs is the only highest rank that you can go to, and some of the problems lies in them ranks.
So what we need is civilian oversight.
Right.
Outside of the police department that investigates this.
Create a budget for
civilian
oversight of these organizations that, you know, is public organizations. The community pays for these organizations. So it should be community people that's invested in and sitting in some of these positions. Because when they are just working, all of them are just on a mode. That's go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what. You know, all we having some fun now. Open eye.
That's good. Yo, what's up, Edie? Yo, Lance, 77777.
The sister
Yo,
Tracy
King.
Johnson. What's up, Tracy? That's her.
Hey.
Yaga. Yeah. Now, okay, we're gonna get back. Then my guitar come in.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Sound clean, don't it? That's it, clean.
Yeah. That's fun all day,
Yo,
y'all.
Lance. Yeah.
Fun all day from Patrice Gibbs.
Definitely.
And Patrice Gibbs, Mr. Gibbs will be a special
guest. Mr. Gibbs.
That's a guest on the upcoming Nsoromma album.
That's right.
75 DM. Coming soon, y'all. Coming soon.
Yup.
Let's make some money here.
Yo, Edie, what's good? Everything good? You get that new truck yet? Lance, how the movie go? Y'all start shooting yet? Word? Yo, House Divided. Go check my man out. He's premiering in House Divided.
All right.
Lance Gideon. Yeah.
Big ups.
Big ups, cousin. Keep the hard work up. I know it's hard. I know you still dropping beats. Yeah.
And supplying them supportive services that they themselves identify as needed to combat future homelessness. We are able to fully support their long-term goals of obtaining recovery, economic self-sufficiency, independence, and community integration.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma.
Right here on the education station.
True.
Right now, Trump is set to send surge 100 federal agents to the cities. They already in Portland. All right.
Hold up. He gonna send 100 federal
Hundreds.
agents. Why? Why?
Oh, the crackdown on crime. That's what he said.
He said hundreds.
Hundreds. Chicago and 2 other Democratic cities are being targeted in the Republican president's move amid a spike in violence.
Why they don't send them to the white community?
Yeah,
I mean, they always dropping a bomb in the privatized community. I mean,
and
that's
just
crazy.
Now, like I said, there is something to Portland. That's one of the cities where unrest has been. Portland has been having protests for 50 days now. Portland has been, interestingly, Portland has been a hot spot for the protests. Okay, and the crazy thing about that is the mayor got tear gassed. The mayor got tear gassed out in Portland because he was out there with the protesters saying, "Hey, I hear you. This is not right." Okay.
But that just goes to show you that, that one voice controlling all of these robots, and them robots is just out there anybody you see out there that's standing on the street, and when you go out there, bust them in the head when you walk by, and that's what it is. And only instructions they got is bust in the head, 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 bust in the head. But I'm the mayor, bust in the head, bust in it. Right.
Mayor of Portland.
It's on good.
Yeah.
When you on go.
Yeah. Now we talked about last week
Yeah.
how these federal agents jumping out in these cami clothes,
Right,
with no identifying insignia,
right,
jumping out of armored vans, just snatching people up off the street.
right.
Now here's the danger in that.
Hey, yo, you fire back?
No,
you blow a couple of their heads off?
But see, here's the danger in that.
You gotta protect yourself,
white
man.
militias. This is the danger. Check it out now. These white militias wear the same kind of uniform that these federal agents are wearing.
Right.
So you don't know who the hell is jumping out on you.
So it's the government responsibility to change that.
That's right.
The federal agents' responsibility. They copycat. They did copycat it.
You don't know who's jumping out on you.
Right. That's why you can't trust nobody.
These lynchings coming out. Check it out. With these lynchings having taken place that they've been calling suicides.
Right.
Lynchings. Okay. With these lynchings taking place, and black people look.
That's why we gotta vote so bad. That's what make our vote so strong. We gotta vote. We gotta vote. Vote.
Now
man.
listen to me. Listen to me out there, y'all. Don't travel alone, especially at night. Don't be on some suburban dark road by yourself and get pulled over. Don't let these race soldiers pull you over. Don't let somebody in an unmarked car, just because they got a bubble light on top of their thing, pull you over on some dark road. Because the next thing you know, you're going to be in the woods somewhere lynched up.
Missing.
And it was a suicide.
You gotta be careful.
It was a suicide. Now, the latest one was a young black girl whose roommate was a white girl, and they found her in the garage lynched. And it was a suicide. I don't think so. That's that BS.
I'm like, wow. I mean, I don't understand where that hate come from like that.
It runs so deep, bro.
But I don't understand where it comes from.
It's indoctrinated.
The run of it. Where did it originally come from? The bloodline is only a source of how it got to them. Mm-hmm. I said, where did it come from?
Where it come from?
Where did it stem from?
Where it stem from?
How is it? Is it genetically when it was born? I mean,
well, it's taught generationally.
Said,
it's taught through. It's been passed down from generations. From the time of before there was an America, from the time of the plantation, slavery, and what have you. And it's just been passed down from generation to generation.
But you gotta understand, when black people haven't been enslaved for a long time. 400 years is nothing when the planet's been around for 1 billion years.
Right.
So the slavery is just a small section of
our history.
Yes. But,
yeah.
So I mean,
for
it to evolve to put these particular people in slavery, it was because everybody had. Well, back then had a slave, and it was white, black, all kind of people were slaves.
Right. Only black people were in chattel slavery.
But then it went to, okay, we only going to channel these particular people to be slaves.
Right.
And that's how slavery came about.
Right.
But
that's how chattel slavery.
Right. Now,
the most brutal slavery known to mankind.
Now, the hate within that slavery came from us fighting them back, not letting them put us in slavery.
Okay, let me give some quick history on this. Okay, before in the 1600s,
right,
there were indentured servants who were black and white. They were not slaves. An indentured servant, of course, is someone
who looks out for you, like a butler.
No. A indentured servant is someone who has made a deal with the person that they work for. Okay. That they're going to be basically enslaved for X number of years. Chattel slavery goes on into perpetuity. Now, black and whites were in were in indentured servitude. Oh, but only blacks at that time were in slavery.
Oh, okay.
So there was a man named Bacon, and what he did was he got poor whites, indentured servant whites, indentured servant blacks, and black slaves to join forces in Virginia and fight against the elite rich white plantation owners. Okay, and they almost won. Unfortunately, they killed Bacon, who himself was a middle class plantation owner, white man, but saw what was going on and said, yo, we ain't got to deal with these people. Okay, and they almost won. So when the rich white plantation owners finally won, what they did was they declared that one indentured servitude was over. It was done. That only blacks would be enslaved, and they would be enslaved in perpetuity, meaning generation after generation after generation. And that these whites who had joined with these blacks to separate them from the blacks, okay, they would give them a little piece of land and convince them that one day you could be amongst the elite. The thing is that you have to understand is that these blacks are not your allies, which actually they were. That these blacks are not your allies. Furthermore, they're not human. Furthermore, they're detrimental to your survival.
So they did on the Trump line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And so they perpetrated this indoctrination up through the Civil War. Now, when the Civil War came, you had poor whites who owned no slaves who were the main ones fighting the battles and sacrifices in the Civil War. Now, during that time, what these poor whites were convinced of was that if the slaves were free, they would get their jobs. You damn fools, they already had your jobs. The elite whites have been playing this game on poor whites since the 1600s, and is still effective by convincing poor whites, working class whites. Okay, it's like the pie analogy.
Right.
Okay, you got a 10-slice pie. Okay, the rich whites take 8 slices and then tell the poor whites that N-word got your pie. And that's where the mindset and the hatred comes from over generation over generation over generation.
I got it.
Okay, history lesson right here on the open eye.
True that. True that. True that.
You know, and look, in the 1940s, Nazi Germany, Hitler sent the Gestapo, his brown shirt, his secret police force to various German cities. In 2020 America, Donald Trump is sending his unidentifiable secret police to Portland and other cities to attack peaceful Americans. They said never again. Never again is now, y'all.
Right.
Never again is now.
I think he's actually running off of Hitler's playbook.
Yeah, oh man, you hit that nail on the head, brother.
That's because I study a little bit too, you know, in the history thing of what happened to our nation, you know what I'm saying, and some of the things that happen in the world. And him and Trump is actually running the same blueprint, the same.
Break it down for him, brother.
This is something you can look up yourself, and you do it for yourself. You go get Hitler's biography and look at some of the things that Hitler did in history, and look at some of the things your president is doing now. I mean, and then you decide for yourself if you still want to be on the side, which side of the war you want to be on, because it's getting ready to be the war. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's bubbling the war to happen.
That's what he's
doing. And that's what's going down. It's going to be a different society, and you can see it coming into effect right now by being forced to wear a mask that they're not providing. I mean, that's just crazy.
And that, you know, they're attacking the protesters.
Right.
Baltimore State Attorney Mosby, what's her name? Marilyn Mosby, Baltimore City State Attorney, she said if these unidentifiable federal agents, secret police, are sent into Baltimore with that mess, they are under arrest for kidnapping. She's not having it. Now, if cities all over do this, what you're going to have is, and what Trump is setting up, is the federal government against state governments. This is a blueprint for civil war.
Right.
For a civil war. And like, you know, Nsoromma broke it down for you. He's following Hitler's playbook. That's crazy as hell. That's crazy.
And super messy.
And super messy.
True that.
Super messy, bro.
Yeah.
That's what. Oh, we got so much more for you. We
Yeah,
for another hour up in here.
Yo, I know, man.
Okay, you know.
We dropping mad science.
Hey, we be trying, you know. Now, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring it all home for y'all. And I might have told you this before, but you know, learn best by repetition. So it's something I'm gonna repeat that I might have said a few months ago, but I want y'all to understand where we stand on this. Okay, I myself, you know, I don't want to just exclude my brother, but you know, we are of like mind. Having been raised a revolutionary, I do not like to be put in a position to behave in a reactionary manner. However, being that I am unforgiving when wrong, I believe in revenge. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. The hell with that. You kill my cat, I'm going to shoot your horse, kill both your dogs, turn over your fish tank, and feed your kids hamster to my new cat.
You brutal.
Yes, I am. You get it? For those that say things like it was no big deal, you don't have to answer everything. Just let it go. Let me tell you something. I never let the smallest racial incident go. I go off every time. Every joke, sly comment, or perceived insult is met with fire and venom. Be careful.
Hold it right there. Now, people will say that's anti-Semitic.
Really?
Now, my thing is, if you say something about in the white people or the Jews or, you know, other race nationalities, you talk down on them or whatever, that's anti-Semitic.
Or
So
racist.
or racist,
or bigotry.
or bigotry, and they do that to the black human race, the human race. But it's not anti-Semitic when the Ku Klux Klan do it, or when you show on, when you talk with hollering out the N word. That's not anti-Semitic.
Or racist.
Or racist. I'm not understanding. So if you're gonna have the word is defined as the definition, not as a definition with a color after the word, then to make it be enforced. You know what I'm saying? The wording is everything. Anti-Semitic is the KKK. No, anti-Semitic is bad behavior. Period.
Yeah.
And to whoever it may be against, and they trying to make it specifically against Jews. I mean, I'm not understanding that. How is that broken down to be a word that is a word that is only when you're dealing with hate is only designed for these particular people. This one word only applies to these particular people.
Well, of course, because you know, according to the identifiers, okay, that the Jews are Semitic or Semites. Okay, of course, Jews and Arabs are both considered Semitic people. So when you say anything, and it's a game that they play.
No, Semitic. What do you mean Semitic? Break Semitic down.
Well, Semitic is supposed to be, like I said, it's supposed to refer to Jews, that they are Semites. That's why they call it anti-Semitic, that the Jews and, you know, Hebrews, those that live in Israel, those that identify as Jews.
But the black Semites. Is the original Hebrew.
We know that.
So why doesn't that apply to
anti-Semitic apply to blacks?
Right, exactly. This is supposed to apply now to us.
Now, even what you just said, when you said, and this is what Nick Cannon got to talk about, when you said that the blacks were the original Hebrews, one, that's anti-Semitic. Help me
understand. I mean, Hebrew is only a religion.
Well, Hebrew is a race of people.
The race of people is human beings.
Or a tribe. Well, the 12.
No, the race of people is a human being.
Yeah, we understand.
So a Hebrew can only be their religion because human being or a description of their belief on who they are.
The occupiers of Israel.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
these people that live in Israel
Mhm.
currently,
Mhm.
you know, you said talked about this, call themselves the original Hebrews. But like you said, okay, black people are the original Hebrews. The original Hebrews, according to what we know, were black. Saying that, just saying that, makes
Get you in trouble.
Makes you yes,
Makes you
anti-Semitic.
anti-Semitic.
Right.
I mean,
When
so
we know
everybody
that
in the world
they
should be
came from the Khazar, they the Khazarians and Asenaki, and came from the Caucasus Mountains, and were converts to the Hebrew religion. Okay, all right. So, but saying that, you know, there was, and I forget his name, but there was a Hebrew, and I say that in quotes, who wrote a book called The 13th Tribe, where he pointed out that these Anunnakis and these Khazarians were converts. And he was a Hebrew, and he was killed. Okay? This is why I go from 0 to 250 in a split second. You cross the line, stick your toe over the line, and I'm going to cut it off. You're oversensitive. We'll get you cussed out. Bet you won't do that no more. Racist crap happens to me once from the same person.
Right.
Once.
Right. I do not play the game either. I do not play the racist game.
No.
As a human being, I'm a human being, and that's what it is. Other
That's
than
right.
that, you'll have a problem with me.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
That's right. You know, a glass that is full cannot hold more water. It must be empty first. You get it? And remember, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays. Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority, and treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma.
This is
WHGE
95.3
FM. Yaga!
Open Eye. Woo.
Yo, Mike, Sue said, what's up? Hey, yo, glad y'all tuned in. Yo, we been bumping for a minute. We about to close out now. Hey, yo, Lance, I see you. I know the dictatorship, and you know, we mentally enslaved. It's so much stuff that we can just hit on, you know what I'm saying? So,
like I said, we could be here for another
yeah,
hour.
you know what I'm saying? You gotta tune in with us early, 11 o'clock, so we can chat and talk to you and, you know, respond to some of the stuff you said.
Word.
777. Yo,
thanks for tuning in, Facebook friends.
True.
We appreciate you.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you learned something. I'm sure you did.
I know I did.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
That's word. This is the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3. Patrice.
Yeah. Nsoromma in the building.
All right. Peace.
Mike, what you say? Fake mask. I get these from the